I've had a really good life, and I was thinking too about some of the most amazing people I've met and the most fantastic things that I've done and accomplished. And the first person that leaps to mind um, is a woman. Her name was Nyet, and she lived in Cambodia, during the time of I don't know, just massive slaughter of human beings. An epic amount of people died at that time, and she was basically turned into a slave. She was a child, forced to work in rice paddies, and once she was starving, everybody was starving, and she forced a little minnow into her mouth while picking rice, and one of the people that was working with her turned her in, and so they whipped her, and they whipped her all across her entire back. She showed me the scars, and here's the thing about Nyet. She was the kindest, most attentive. She acted like, I got the feeling like she was royalty. She acted like a princess, and I thought, enough. Nyet defined her life by the injustice and the cruelty and the brutality she encountered. Well, she wouldn't be. I guess she'd be suffering her life rather than celebrating it as a victory. And it occurred to me that's the only way to live your life. That we could all look at something in our life that didn't go right. Maybe not as bad, not even close to being like enslaved and whipped like Nyet. But in some cases, some of us have encountered things just as terrible, if not more terrible. And if we let that stuff define us, then we give up on the whole real reason that we're alive, and that is to experience life, to think about what's going on around us, and to think about what can I do with the life that I have, with the time that I have. And so I was thinking about Nyet, and I thought she was one of the greatest people I've ever met because she helped define my outlook. And then one of the greatest things I've ever done in my life was I rode my bike across the United States. And I learned that no matter what happens, that I could rely upon myself, and also there's a wide variety of solutions to whatever problems I have. Like sometimes I think that, like, when I was riding my bike across the United States, I have a problem. I'm like, oh, the solution is this, and it turned out that wasn't possible. So the perfect solution was available, and like it actually taught me to rely on myself, and it really also taught me to rely on other people as well, and to be accepting of other people and other people's help. And then I think that the second greatest thing that's ever happened to me was really having the courage to buy aquila. I think that like I just built the tiny house, and I was just getting settled into a new job, and I waited for a bit because I wanted to see that the tiny house wasn't going to be a problem with the city, and that my new job was going to work out. And then when I felt like I just had enough confidence, I went to Humane Society and got aquila. And I think that, like, meeting Nyet and riding my bike across the country led me to have courage like that, courage to take a chance and change my life, or to take the responsibility for another living being. And the reason why I think aquila is so great, and why I think it's one of the greatest things I've done, is I wanted to dedicate my life to caring for my dog, but I didn't want to live for my dog. I wanted to live a life of outdoors and travel and exploration and things like that, and but also focus on my own backyard. I've done so much traveling that it occurs to me that there's so much here in Oregon that I haven't done or seen. And I thought, well, having aquila will make it even more likely and more of an incentive to stay in my own backyard and explore the deserts and the coast and the mountains and the valleys and the trails and the beaches and things like that. And also, I really have learned an awful lot about what it takes to be a good person by watching what it takes to be a good dog. Watching aquila has taught me a lot. And I could think of more things in my life that I figure are really important people, really influential, people who changed who I am, because I wanted to adopt things about them that I admired, or activities, accomplishments. I was pretty proud to get my second degree black belt. That felt like a lot of work, but the value on top of that was way beyond a black belt. Like I almost fell in love with what the body can do, which is why I appreciate. I mean, there's so much things like that. Appreciation for what the body could do leads to everything else, like my appreciation for musicians and music, and my appreciation for dance, and anybody who gets inspired by a skill, because I know I have got a glimpse into what that's like, into the joy of that kind of life. So yeah, I think life just has to be a triumph, and I think any other perspective would give you a disservice on one of like the greatest gifts that you have, which is your perception of your life and of reality. So.